Hey guys, how are you? It's January 30th, 2022, and so I'm out at Umstead doing a just a short 14 miler today. It's a down week. This week coming up, I have the Uwharrie 40 miler on Saturday, so that's like the 5th of February. And this run is more for like a gear check. I got this new Exmoor jacket from Harrier Running, based out of the UK. And I also got some T8 shorts, if you can see them. But it's like 16 degrees today. Next weekend it's supposed to at least be in the 20s, but probably that'll be the lowest it gets next week, and then warm up. So I wanted to try this and see how it was. Typically I don't wear like a jacket. My last long run out here in Umstead, I wore like a kind of like a windbreaker, like just thin over a long sleeve rabbit. I think it was a rabbit technical shirt, and that was warm enough. I think it was a little bit warmer than it is today, but I can already tell that this is kind of warm. This is a waterproof jacket, so I guess it's not as breathable as like a windbreaker or something. But we'll see how the rest of the run goes. I'm only a mile in, and so I don't know if I'll just do a thinner shirt under this or if I have to do something different. But it's comfortable. It's got good pockets and got a built-in hood, so that's good. So other than that, just you know, got hand warmers and like thin gloves with a shell over the top of it. But yeah, other than that, just like I said, kind of practicing for next week. Oh, also this, I don't typically wear a baseball hat over a winter hat, but the last run I did, the last race I did, I didn't have a brimmed hat, and like the sun was in my face and just annoying the crap out of me. So I thought I'd try this. Originally I was just gonna use the hat and the hood, but it just was letting a lot of air in, so I figured I'd give this a shot. All right, I'll check in later. Thanks. All right, I am at 5 miles in my 14 mile, guess you could say practice run. Like I said earlier, mainly for wardrobe. And so I've got a couple of updates on that. First, my pace. I'm thinking my average right now is about 10:30. That last mile had some hills in it, so it was like 12 pace. But so I'm trying to intentionally slow down. I think these 10-11 minute runs are a little aggressive for the 100. So I'm trying to slow down a little bit, be more realistic. But as far as the wardrobe goes, you can see I put this hood up. The hat I wear was getting wet, and so then it started getting cold. So the hood's been up and down a couple of times, just to try to regulate depending on how cold or hot I feel. And it fits. I might do like a review of this jacket. I mean, I'm kind of doing that now, but it's better to look at it for everybody. But before I was saying that I felt like it might be too warm, but I think that was just my first like mile out there. Like, you know, you go from not doing anything, and then as soon as you start exercising, you just feel hot all of a sudden. So it's much more comfortable now. And so I think I will use this setup next weekend. Another update is, so I had the, again, I don't know if you can see, but tights with these T8 shorts. The T8 shorts I really like. They are super thin, and they don't have a built-in liner. They come with a separate liner that's very, that's very thin. It's almost like nylons. So because they're actually made for, they're from Hong Kong, so they're made for like super hot temperatures, which I have trouble in the summer. I get too hot, so I sweat to death. So, but I thought maybe that they would be okay over these tights, because like I said, they don't have a liner, so I could just wear them over the tights. But with these temperatures, it's still a little too cold. So I had a buff on around my neck, and I just stuffed it in the front of my shorts to just protect the wind, you know, from the wind a little bit more. So anyway, so that's the clothing update. The pack is working out well. Next weekend at Uwharrie, it's hilly. I think it's like 7,000 or 8,000 feet of gain in 40 miles. So I will have my poles. But other than that, this will be probably the complete setup, as far as oh, and I'm wearing the, sorry if this makes you dizzy, but I'm wearing the Ultra Glides. I'm not positive about those for next week. They are definitely good on this bridle trail, dirt road essentially, because a little more road light and not as technical, but they're very comfortable. So unless my feet start bothering me towards the end of this run, I probably will wear these next weekend. But the one thing I will have to change is the shorts tights setup. Either maybe I could wear that liner that comes with these shorts under the tights, and then the tights, and then these shorts. The reason I like these shorts is because they're built to go over a separate liner. They're a little grippier, and like I said, because they're for really hot temperatures, they're very light. So when I ran the South Mountains 50K with shorts over tights, they just kept sliding down no matter how tight I tightened them. So I think this would work. So we'll give it a shot, but I'll show you a little bit more of the course and I'll check it in later. like I said, I'm about 5 miles into my run, but this would be, I don't know, maybe like 4 miles into the actual course, because I can't park where the start finish line is. I had to park further down. So this is the course, but the mileage isn't going to line up with what it's going to be during the race. Alright, let's see. I forget where my mileage is. Not much further than I was a minute ago. Let's see. It was almost 7 miles. But I wanted to pull the camera out because in the Umstead 100, there are 2 aid stations. And one is at the start-finish line, and the other one is going to be here. So I just wanted to give a view of that. You know, it's kind of a flat section. This is the only pavement on the whole loop, and it's, I don't know, 50 feet maybe. But it also, there's a road right there, so it's good access for people running the aid station, and then like if your crew wants to pop out and help you here. I think it's about halfway through the loop, so every loop is 12.5 miles, so I believe this is about 6-ish. I can look it up, but I believe it's around 6 miles. And like I said, there's a road right there. You can see it up there. And there's a gate. You can see way up there. There's a gate. I don't know if you can drive down that, like if you're crewing, but you could at least walk down that if you had a basket or a wagon or something. It looks like it's pretty close and pretty easy, as opposed to like climbing over the guardrail. Again, this is just my like personal familiarity with the course. I don't know what the rules are. But I do know that's the aid station, and that there is access. I don't think you can set things up, like tents and things like that, like you can at the start finish, but I'm sure if you brought a lawn chair or something like that, it'd be fine. But anyway, so there was some kind of ups and downs, and then this section is pretty flat. I'd say it's about quarter mile, and then you start going up, and that's not very steep. It goes up and kind of flattens out and kind of goes up and down, but definitely a little jolt here just to wake you up again into the rest of the loop. So but yeah, the rest of the course, I think there are other, obviously there's other roads into this park, but this is the section that's closest to like any kind of road that you could just like park on the side of the road and, you know, see your runner or your crew. So anyway, I'll film for a little bit while and I'll check in later again. Just a little rise here. And again, there's a, yeah, you could pop in there, I guess, if you park somewhere around there. Let's see, that was it for that little climb. But then the rest of this section is kind of rolly for a little while. All right, talk to you later. All right, about 9.5 miles in. Did a slow climb. It's not very steep, but just maybe half a mile or so. Like again, it's not steep. It was just kind of like just barely a climb, so it slowed me down a little bit. But the main reason I got the camera out is because if you see on the map of Umstead, it might even be on the course map, after you make a turn, I just took a left onto this trail, and we're headed back to the start. But on the map you'll see this thing and it says log art, and so I just thought it would be interesting to pull the camera out and show you what that was all about. I don't know if this was all done with chainsaw or if it was just carved, but you know, it's a few years old. Like, it wasn't here when I first started running here, but it's been here for several years now. But just a little point of interest, and like I said, if you had seen the map that's on the Umstead 100 race site, it might even be just on the Umstead State Park map as well, but it says log art, and that's what that is. So anyway, so I think I said I'm about 9.5 in. I've got you know, 4.5-ish to go. So things are going okay. I think my pace might have slowed down to like 11 average. Nothing dramatic, but definitely taking it easy on the hill, especially since I have a race on Saturday. So but I'll show you a little bit more, of course, on my way back to the start. So yeah, as you can see, this course is pretty much all just this dirt road, pretty much. So nothing technical. Can be sandy, not sandy as in like, you know, loose ground and, you know, annoying to run on, but like sandy that might kick up some sand or little pebbles into your shoes, maybe. I've never really had a problem with that, but it could happen. And then it's pretty cambered, so not a lot of sitting water as far as like puddles, or there's some right there, a little ice, but not really much of that because the way the road is curved. And even though there are some flat sections, most of the course is either slightly downhill, slightly uphill, or, you know, more so. So I come around the corner and just open up into some like power lines, so you can see a little bit more than just like the road in front of me. So there we go. I always tell Margaret, like whenever I'm traveling and I'm looking for trails and I don't know the area, a lot of times if you can find power lines, you know, because there's service roads on power lines, so a lot of times I'll find trails there. You know, sometimes they're runnable, sometimes they're pretty overgrown and kind of miserable to run on, but most of the time you can find something. You don't want to be running on the roads. All right, I'll check in later. Okay, I just climbed this little hill. Well, it's not steep, but again, it's long. And this is the end of the loop. Like, so if you run an Umstead 100, there's like this little lollipop. So you have a start, you turn right, you go out that a little bit, and you turn around, and then you go past the start, and you come from this way, and you start that loop. And then you go around, you'll see the aid station I showed you, all the other stuff, the logs, I don't know, maybe like a mile and a half back from where, you know, the last thing I just showed you. And you come up this hill, and then this goes back. So this will, you'll go back, and then I'll show you. You'll take a right. There's like a water fountain and a little gate, and that goes back to the start finish. So I just wanted to show that loop and kind of give people kind of an idea of you know, where you're turning and stuff like that. If somebody wants to come out here, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's you know, there's a lot of single track out here, but there's not too much of this bridle trail, so it's pretty, the bridle trail part, which is that whole race. There are other races that have single track, like they're up there, they're going into a single track. But if you're doing the Umstead 100, the loop is pretty easy to follow because there aren't too many of these big bridle trail, fire road trails out here. But yeah, I think I'm about I'm just gonna walk up here. Almost 11, so I got about 3.5 or so to go. I'm at 10.7. So I will see you in a second and show you where the turn off to the like start finish is, and that's also where the obviously the other aid station. All right, see you soon. Okay, this is like pretty much the last hill before you get to you know, the end of the loop. It's called Cemetery Hill. It's a decent, you know, it's a decent length, and it's fairly steep. It's not like super steep, but it's definitely gonna slow you down. So it's not named Cemetery Hill because it's like gonna kill you. It's at the top over on the right. There's a cemetery, so it's not as sinister as it sounds, but we're getting closer. This is, I don't know, like half a mile from where I just showed you where the turn was, but since it's like the last significant hill of the loop, I thought I'd go ahead and show you. But we're almost to the cemetery in the top of the hill, so I'll just show you that. But it's pretty nice out. It's so cold. So it's a Sunday. Normally you'd see a ton of people out. There are people out, but normally there's a lot of people out. But for the first few miles I didn't see anybody. Like I said, it was like 16 degrees, and for North Carolina that's pretty cold. I'm from New Hampshire, so I'm used to it. But out there it is. There's the cemetery, and there's some park benches and stuff. So, and this is the top of the hill. So, all right, check in a second. All right, we're coming up on the turn off, where the end of the loop, and then you turn right to go down to the camp where the start finish line is. So once you turn, it's kind of a downhill to the start finish, which is nice for the you know, end of a loop. But then, like, once you sit at the aid station and you're gonna go out on your next loop, you have like an uphill like right away. So you know, first few times it probably won't be a big deal, but as you get more tired, you're probably gonna second guess whether or not you want to do that. But again, it's not terrible, but it's just definitely a hill right at the start of every loop. So, but here, I'll show you the, sorry, my glove keeps getting in the way. So you kind of come up this little crest, and there's a bench and there's a water fountain. It's turned off right now because it would be frozen, but and then there's this gate, and you go in the gate, and then that trail goes like downhill, and I think there's like 1 or 2 forks, but you just stay to the right and go down, and then there's a camp, which basically is like, I don't know, 10 or 12 little cabins, and then like a bigger structure that might have like a kitchen or something, and then a bathroom, and then you just basically, your aid station, everything is there, and then you come back up. And when you come back up, you turn right, and you're gonna run that way for a little while. There's a turn, I don't know if you can see it, but the road turns, and you go that way a little bit, and then you just turn around, and then you come back this way. And when you come back this way, you just go back into the loop. You don't go back in here once you leave. You just go straight by it. So I'm not sure of the rules, but it might be a good opportunity. Like if you leave a loop and say you took like, I don't know, a cup of something, and you know, you could take it and carry it with you or whatever, and then if, you know, some of your crew or something was here, that you could drop it off. It'd be easy for them to like pick it up and take it back to the start finish. The start finish isn't that far, maybe half a mile down that way, but you know, you can't have people carrying stuff for you, but I think it's okay if you carried something and then dropped it and they'd pick it up. That might be allowed, I think. I mean, we'll see. But I just check the rules, but that might be something that would be an option. So, all right, I will probably not film until I get back to the truck. All right. Let's see. Let me check my watch here. So 14 miles, 11:14 pace ended up at. So that was good because I was trying to take it easier, not going out as fast. And so I think 2 weeks ago, I can't remember now. It's been snowing a lot on the weekends, so I can't remember which weekends I've been running and on the treadmill coming out here. But the last run I did was 28 miles, so twice as far, but the average was 11:09. So this one felt a lot easier at the start, and so I'm happy with that. Still trying to work out my splits for the 100-miler for as far as like the first 50 miles and then the second 50 miles. So anyway, just quickly, notes for myself. The Ultra Glide shoes were comfortable the whole way, so I think I am gonna run with those next week at Umstead, Uwharrie. I might throw a different pair of shoes at the 20-mile turnaround. The jacket is great. I might go over that in depth in a different video, but the shirt I have under, it's a rabbit long sleeve. I felt damp on the inside, like I think it just like sweat. I mean, the shirt was drenched, but it was warm, so I don't think that's an issue. I don't feel like that's a big problem. Otherwise, the shorts over the tights. I do like these shorts over the tights because they're light and they don't get pulled down, but they're maybe too thin, so I haven't decided if I want to do the the lining that comes with these shorts under the tights, and then the tights, and then these shorts, or if I will just wear the Brooks shorts that I wore at South Mountains and just not keep as much stuff in the pockets to keep the weight down. But I'll experiment with that a little bit. Other than that, oh, this hat also, it just got really wet, and so then it got cold, so then I was putting the hood up and down. So I'll probably wear a different hat, but I probably will do this hat or a hat over a winter hat, because there was points where the sun was in my face, and that helped a lot. Yeah, the gloves with the liners and the hand warmers, that worked fine. Let me check my phone. I just wanted to check to see. I know this morning when I left it was like 16 degrees, so let's see if I can open this phone. It might be too wet. Hold on one second, let me take my gloves off. But yeah, so temperature wise, other than the shorts, everything was manageable. Like I said, everything, the ears were a little cold, but it wasn't like freezing and like, oh, this is scary. It was just like, oh, I wish I was a little bit warmer, but it wasn't like dire or anything. Let's see, what is the temperature now? So right now it's 30, so below freezing the whole run. So anyway, I just wanted to make a couple notes to myself, and thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you probably next week. All right, yeah, I've got Umstead. I mean, I always get those two names confused. I've got Uwharrie 40 miler next weekend, so definitely do a video on that. All right, bye.